What up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. Yes, it's me, April Love, here in Boston, wishing you a blessed time. Truly hope you're finding reasons to smile, laugh, enjoy life, appreciate everything and everyone around you. So, if you're a Fousey fan, an Saleh fan, Slimmofication fan, you know what happened yesterday, September 29th, Sunday, in London. You know what happened. We all know what happened if you follow those people. If you don't, you might get lost in this video, but it is what it is. Anyway, as everybody else has, I'm going to talk about the Slim and Fousey fight. The Slim and Fousey fight, although it was the second to last fight of the night, their fight was the one that got the most hype and had the most drama behind it. If you've been following this at all, you know that they've been very loud at throwing verbal and video jabs at each other, calling each other out on their weaknesses, calling out things that have happened over the past year. If anyone knows the whole situation, there was a lot of drama last summer, that had to do with Fousey and Slim and Adam. They were all a part of that, and they had beef back then, but since then they had made peace with each other, and they came together to do this charity event, boxing match, to raise money for Yemen. I'll get into that towards the end of the video. But and if you saw the video I did about a month ago, I talked about both sides, how they both have, they both have, there's pros and cons to both sides of this. Let's talk about the positive points for both sides. On the positive side, when it comes to Fousey, this man did it on his own. He didn't have friends training with him. He didn't have, he didn't have the same group support that, he had his friends and families cheering him on, but at the end of the day, he had to get himself out of bed, to the gym, do the workouts, do whatever he needed to do to get ready for this fight. And we know, because he documented it, that he worked his butt off. He went all in, wholehearted, even when he was second guessing himself, because there were moments throughout his training that he was doubting himself, but his trainers were there to help lift him up again, and he was continuing to pump himself up. Then the positive side, to Slim's side, was he had Adam, he had Nakib, he had all his friends training with him, and even sometimes his family members would come and train with him. So he had, he wasn't going to training by himself. He didn't have to motivate and push himself up. He had that momentum. He had that love and support around him, and just, the two dynamics and personalities is, no matter what's going on in Slim's life, he always keeps a positive vibe about himself, and he's very hyper and he's very energetic, and, he doesn't let much get to him. Fousey, we know that he puts himself down a lot, even though he might have a lot of confidence for himself. He still self-doubts himself a lot, and he, and because of his mental illness, his emotions and his state of mind go up and down a lot. So those are the two dynamics of the, and the other thing is, with Fousey, people were doubting him because they didn't think he was going to even make it to the fight. They didn't think he was going to follow through. They think, they were still, BSing him and doubting him in so many different ways. And with Slim, because of his physical appearance, he's a very thin guy, he's a tall guy, and they were doubting him too because of that. he was the underdog. I think technically, in some respects, they were both underdogs. Yeah, Fousey had strength. He had muscle. He had strength. He had, power. You saw that in his training videos. Slim was again being doubted because of how thin he was. He didn't look like he was gaining any muscle, and because he didn't show his training, and they showed like bits and pieces where he wasn't really being hit hard or punching hard in his training, but he was being underestimated for those reasons. And the one thing I'll say about Slim, and at first I was completely turned off about this, especially during the beginning of the match, that all the way up, including into the first round, he was still prancing around. He was still getting in Fousey's face. He was still doing that. Instead of just being focused on, let's have a good match, he was still trying to entertain outside of that. And it got to the point where I'm like, you're being way too cocky about this. You're being way too disrespectful about this, including in the room where you're dancing around, But, and as far as Fousey, you can see in this clip what I said about him, and this is what happened in this match. We all know that sometimes when his ego taps in, that he loses sight of his original goal and, gets a little too in your face and aggressive, and that ends up being his downfall. And that's what happened in this match. People were talking about the technical part, that he had no defense, and I agree with that. That he would throw the punches, and then as soon as he got hit, he wasn't really blocking himself. He wasn't really fighting back. He was getting hit. But because he went into this, and you saw it, and I know it had a lot to do with Slim's showboating, Fousey went into this very angry. Again, he had a lot to prove, not only to people around him, but, to himself. He had a lot going on mentally and emotionally. And as soon as that bell rang, he had a good year's worth of pent up aggression that he tried to get out. And no matter how many times his coaches told him to put your hands up, all he was looking at was to punch and get the knockout and to, get as much of the aggression out, and that's what cost him this match. Slim, you could tell he went in swinging too, but you can see that he was more collected and more, ready to fight. And that's another dynamic between the two of them, is they both, as far as Slim is concerned, a lot of people have said this, he comes from a street mentality. I can't really say much about Fousey. I don't know all about his, background growing up. I don't know if it was more suburb or whatever. I don't know if that really matters. But, I'm from Boston. Slim is New York. And having that city mentality, and that, in Slim's, without a doubt, you see it throughout all his content, he's a New Yorker at heart. He's got that grit. He's got that, New York state of mind. He's got that mentality. So, he was being doubted, but this is where I knew he, if he was going to win, it was going to be because of that. But this is where I've been getting emotional every time I watch this fight. One, because I know Fousey fought with his heart. They both did. But Fousey, as angry as he was, remember, he had something to prove. I don't think Slim had something to prove as far as being the underdog, but Fousey had something to prove to himself, to people that just in general have doubted him for years. you know, and you know, and and I know he was telling his coaches every time he was in the corner not to throw in the towel. He was trying to get his Rocky moment. He was pushing through. You can tell second round it should have ended. Third round especially it should have ended. He was wobbling. You could see he wasn't. He just wasn't there. But I love both of these men so much. They're like, I've never met them personally, but because I've watched them for so long, they make me think of my brothers. My brothers are 8 and 12 years younger than me, and these guys are right around the same age as my youngest brother. And Fousey fought with his heart. Fousey, people are laughing at him, people are dogging him like they normally do, but this man fought with heart. And again, he trained for this on it all the way up to the by himself, and you have to respect him for that. And I know he put his all into this. And I mentioned that he was trying to get his Rocky moment. You have to remember, and I know they're movies. The first Rocky movie, Rocky lost that match against Apollo. The first Creed movie, young Creed lost that match. But they got booed going into those matches. And this goes for Fousey too. Got booed going into the match, but people cheered for them at the end of those matches. And Fousey got cheered at the end of this match. People know what was at stake for Fousey. And for Slim, I love that he didn't continue on with the banter and showboating after this, and he showed real love to Fousey. They both showed real love to each other. And that was the most beautiful part of this whole thing. Like I said, a year ago, they had, everybody kind of had beef with each other. But to see the love at the end of this, they both won. Slim might have won the belt. He might have won the match. But Fousey also won this match. He won the respect. He won the love. And I don't know what he's going through mentally, emotionally. He did post this up on Instagram today. But the both of them. Like I said, I love the both of these guys so much. They've inspired my personal life so much with my content, with my own, I saw with my health and fitness, but they have all inspired me or got me to think differently in one way or another. And that goes for Adam too. I'm not going to speak too much about Adam in this one, but what I'm going to do is post this picture because he won his match too. And he was, he's got boxing experience, and his match was the most technical. If you want to see a reaction video to his match, let me know in the comments. But as far, but again, this was for charity for Yemen, and for those of you who don't know. And I don't know all the details either. I don't follow the news. I don't follow anything because it affects me too much, affects my energy too much. But there is a humanitarian crisis going on in Yemen right now. people are not getting fed. There's a civil war going on. People are, homes are being destroyed. People, young children are being killed or, starving to death. And that's what this charity fight was actually all about. And I'm going to put the link to the fundraising that Adam Saleh was doing for this, through the American Foundation, the Boxer American. But Adam posted today that they raised 400,000 pounds. I don't know what that is in US dollars, but let's say it's definitely a couple $100,000 in US dollars. So that is amazing, and what it's gonna go to is food packs and hygiene packs for families and children, and and all that. So if you want to donate, if you want to help out, I'll put the link for it in the description below. And even if you can't, please share out the link and help raise awareness for Yemen, which is a small Middle Eastern country that both Slim and Adam are from. So anyway, this is a lot longer than I was expecting it to be, so I'm going to end it now. I want to thank you for watching. I'm going to put links for Slim, Adam, and Fousey down below. Please go show all of them some love. Let them know I sent you. And again, if you can donate or share out the link for Yemen, it would mean the world. And Fousey, you fought your heart out. I love you so much. Don't let this bring you down. I saw that you said it has humbled you. Just grow from it. Know you did. You worked your butt off to do this. Slim, congratulations. I'm proud of you. Especially the way you handled the aftermatch and the love that you guys showed for each other. Let that be motivational. Let that be inspirational. And Adam too, I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you. And for the three of you, if you happen to come across this video and you ever come to Boston, I would love to have you on my radio show here in Boston called Inspired by Love. Or I would love to just meet up and chat with you and collab with you in some way. So hit me up. With that, I'm ending it. Once again, thank you for watching. As always, like, love, share, and inspire. Don't forget, love is everything. Much love. Peace.